the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, this is the the Chelsea versus Newcastle United match preview. Why did I say Man United? It's because somebody mentioned Man United to me, and that's why. So, yeah, I've got Roly with me this afternoon. How are you, Roly? All right?
I'm feeling positively Champions League.
Yeah.
Happy to be back as well. I believe one or two people missed me in the chat yesterday, so I'm back. There's just some personal stuff needed dealing with, so yeah, I'm back and will be regularly.
Yeah. Okay, lovely, Roy. Yeah, the reason I mentioned Man United was because I know we can finish above them if the draw were Fulham, but yeah, I meant Chelsea versus Newcastle United match preview. Okay, so before we get into it, if you do like what you see, then please smash the like. It does help the channel with the search results, so do smash those likes. Also, if you're brand new at the channel, then please smash the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and that bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. If you do want to make a donation, there is a link in the chat. Just click the link, follow the instructions. I'm 10 away now from 600 subscribers. So 10 more subscribers and I hit the 600 mark. So there we go. Right. Before we get in the gear, I mean, look, what a hectic weekend it is now. Because, right, let me go through what's going to happen. Let's look at what's happening in the world of football. Because not just the Premier League, but there's all sorts going on in the world of football, especially in the United Kingdom. You know, up in Scotland, you got Celtic getting that trophy today on the verge of another treble. Also, you've got the WSL, the Women's Super League today. Now, there's a lot of twists and turns on the last day. There's drama in that league as well as the Premier League tomorrow. So, in the WSL, if you're wondering...
For a second, Tony.
Sorry?
I'm just going to have to go screen for a second.
Okay. So in the WSL, you have got Reading at home to Chelsea, Man United travel to Liverpool. If Reading beat Chelsea, Man United beat Liverpool.
Is this a quick one? Because I'm just on a show.
Sorry, I've had to mute Roly there. So if Man United beat Liverpool, Man United win the title if Chelsea lose. And also, with Reading, if they win and Leicester only get a point, Reading will stay up and Leicester get relegated. I know it sounds confusing, but that's the premonition there.
I mean,
you
said Reading.
Yeah, Reading, yeah. Yeah.
It says WSL.
WSL, Roly. So what I was saying, Roly, is if Man U beat Liverpool away and Reading beat Chelsea, Man U win the league. Now then, also, if Reading beat Chelsea, Reading can stay up if Leicester only pick up a point against Brighton. Now, on the other flip side, if Chelsea beat Reading, Chelsea win the league, hands down. So, yeah, so there's a lot going on in the Women's Super League. So that's a big one today in the Women's Super League. I believe the Liverpool Man U games, BBC, and the Reading and Chelsea's on Sky. Also, you've got the Championship playoff final at 4:45 tonight, which I'll be watching very closely. Luton Town versus Coventry. I favour Luton will come up. I think Luton will win that one, but I think it'll be a great game. And if it was terms of stadium wise, I would love to see Coventry up because their stadium is just that little bit better than what Luton's is. Plus, it would reunite Callum Wilson with his former club. So I'm sure that would be a great game for Callum to play in. Because Coventry was one of his former teams when he made the £3 million switch from there to Bournemouth. So we've got that today. Then tomorrow, we've got the relegation zone fighting it out. So you've got Leeds, Leicester, Everton fighting it out tomorrow. If Everton only pick up a point, Leicester win, Leicester stay up, Everton drop down. If Leeds win, Everton get beat, then Leeds stay up and they drop down if Leicester don't win. It's all going on tomorrow. Gary O'Neill has already said from Bournemouth, he wants to get out. He's sick of sitting on 39 points. He's been sitting on that for too long. He said, we need to get points. So Gary O'Neill of Bournemouth has said his players are certainly not on the beach. They are going out there to get the 3 points. They want the win tomorrow. So Bournemouth want to finish on as many points as they can. And he says, I want to get past 39 because I'm sick of seeing 39 on the screen. So that just shows you Everton ain't going to have it easy tomorrow. Plus, they've got no Calvert-Lewin tomorrow, Everton. So that's a big miss for them. And then you've also got a battle for European places as well in the Premier League. You've got Aston Villa versus Brighton. Brighton have already secured Europa League, but it's for that 7th place. So if Aston Villa beat Brighton, even if Tottenham beat Leeds, wouldn't make no difference. Villa finished 7th. So it's all to play for tomorrow. And this is why it's exciting. This football in this weekend is just absolutely jam-packed of matches. I mean, you've got before the Premier League kicks off, 1:30 tomorrow, you've got Carlisle versus Stockport County in the League Two playoff final. Let's hope we can see Carlisle make the transition to League One. Then on the Monday, you've got a game which is going to be a 90,000 sellout in League One, which is between Sheffield Wednesday and Barnsley, a South Yorkshire derby. So that's going to be a huge game as well. So lots of exciting games coming up and still lots of football to watch. So, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. You
could have the perfect set of results because this is still possible. Is that we finish above Man United. Tottenham don't qualify for the Champions League, and both Everton or Leeds get relegated. A perfect set of results that would be.
Yeah. Trolls says hi, Tony, and hi all. Hi to you, Trolls. Mason says afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Mason. Alright, lads, says Andrew. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. People saying hello to each other there. Trolls says how wants to keep Richie and Dummett. Don't get that, to be honest. I think he wants to keep Richie because in the background, Richie's quite good. He's got a good leadership on him, and it's the morale from Richie. But I also think he wants to take Richie on as a coach eventually. So I can see that's why he probably wants to keep him. But again, it's just media talk. We don't actually know how true that is. But we know he said about Dummett, he definitely wants to keep Dummett because of the homegrown thing. Mason says, was it not John Sinclair who mentioned Man United? Probably. Bia says, hi, Tony, Roly in chat. Hi to you, Bia. I hope you're well, mate. So I mean, it's going to be a great weekend of football, and I mean, obviously people want to watch the Chelsea game, but no doubt, whatever game you're watching, they'll be flashing the scores up on the screen as they go because it's a big weekend. If Everton go down to an early goal and see Leicester get an early goal and start winning, Everton are going to start panicking. The fans are going to feel it in the stadium. That might even invite Bournemouth on to get more goals. Everton have lost the last 4 against Bournemouth. So tomorrow it doesn't look great for Everton, in all honesty. You all think they're going to go there and smash Bournemouth. Well, I'm sorry, that ain't going to happen. Not if Gary O'Neill wants to make sure they get more than 39 points. So then I'm sure it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game, but be funny if Everton do drop. Lewis says, I'm going to be well sport out this weekend because I'll be watching the qualifying today and tomorrow, watch the race from Monte Carlo, then watch the football. What a weekend. Yeah, you enjoy the Formula One. I can't stand it, mate, personally. I just don't like Formula One. I just don't see I don't see the thrill in watching cars going on the laps 60 times or whatever it is to do. I mean, it's not for me. It's not for me.
I'm with you there, Tony. I don't get
But what?
Formula or
But
any
it's whatever
motor.
floats your boat at the end of the day. And if you enjoy that, mate, you enjoy that, and you enjoy
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I mean,
fill your boots.
you know, yeah. I have actually been in the shop at Monte Carlo at the end of the tunnel, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty expensive in there for to buy any sort of gear, like any I should be careful when I say gear because it could be anything I'm talking about, but I'm on about merchandise. The merchandise there is very expensive, absolutely. Lewis says Monte Carlo is one of those races everybody loves. I hate because it's the crown jewels of Formula One. Yes, it is absolutely. Monaco's a lovely place. I've been there. It's a lovely place to visit, and it's very picturesque, lovely. So, but expensive as well, mine, by the way. As is Saint-Tropez, that's quite expensive, especially when you get a plastic bottle of Coke and it's like €5 for a bottle of Coke. Yeah, that is expensive. €20 for a pizza. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's madly expensive, Lewis. Definitely, mate. So we head to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, last game of the season tomorrow. And Eddie has already said what players can he rest because he hasn't got any to rest because he's got that many injuries. And he's glad it's the end of the season. So it's the last game of the season. We know Bruno's been playing with a few injuries, he says, on his ankle. But he says it does not require surgery. It only requires rest. And he'll get plenty of that over the summer. Bruno's having his second wedding. So it's like he's had his wedding abroad, so he's having one here, where Joe Linton's going to be his best man. And he says he did ask Eddie how to come, but Eddie says he'd be on holiday with his family at the time, so he wouldn't be able to make it. But apparently Jason Tyndall's going Mad Dog, so so Bruno says that'll be very interesting. And he says there's a few of the other lads are going as well. So yeah, I'm sure they're going to have a great time. So yeah, I mean, we don't know what he's doing tomorrow. He hasn't decided who's in goal. He said we've got Dubravka. He says we've got Karius. He says I'll decide on the day who I'm putting in goal. There's no given to who's going in goal. So, you know, who knows? So we'll find out tomorrow. I gather Anthony Gordon probably gets to run out tomorrow, in all honesty, and I think that would be a great game for him to have a go. I'd love to see Callum score 2 against Chelsea tomorrow just to hit that 20-goal mark. I think we can go there and smash Chelsea, in all honesty. I don't think they're that great. You know, and I know Pochettino's going in there for next season, but to be honest with you, I'll give Pochettino maybe a maximum 6 months there before he's gone. Because, you know, them players are just, I don't know how they're going to adapt, to be fair, next season, but depends how many want to stay because I've not got no European football. We haven't got Nick Pope, says Lewis. No, we haven't. He's got a hand injury. Lewis says, why not give Karius a chance? Not a bad shout because he did well in the cup final. Yeah. Lewis says, next season, I will give Nick Pope the number 1 shirt. Yeah, absolutely, I would as well. I think he might do. And Macy's in the chat. Hi, Tony and Roly. Hi, Macy. Hope you're well. Before I came on air, I just saw an interesting interview from Roberto De Zerbi, the Brighton manager. And they were talking about Jason Steele, the goalkeeper. And by the sounds of things, what he said is Jason Steele will be his number 1 keeper next season. He says he wants to make him better than he is. He says, I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. He says, but I want to make him get into the England squad. So De Zerbi said, he's my number 1 next season. And he's already said that now. So I thought that was pretty interesting to come out with that. So that'll put the future of Roberto Sanchez in doubt somewhere. What do you make of that, Roly? Do you think he's a bit brave coming out with that?
Yeah. And Sanchez they've got 2 very good keepers there. Steele, you need to make him better before I have him as the number 1, to be honest. But he's shown that he's capable of being a number 1. Whether he is now at the moment, I don't know. Has there been a fallout between De Zerbi and Sanchez? Is Sanchez looking to move on? Maybe that's why he said he wants to make him his number one. Because Sanchez and the summer
I'm not
window
sure,
was
to be honest.
linked to lots of stuff. I don't know what's happened to Sanchez. But I mean, they're both good goalkeepers.
No,
So.
I don't know what's happened to Sanchez in all honesty, but obviously something's gone wrong. But didn't he have a couple of games where he had a couple of bloopers? I think in the sort of took him out the firing line. I think, and Steele went in. I mean, Steele's 32-year-old, but still young really for a goalkeeper. In all honesty, he's been in Team of the Week in the Premier League once this season as well, Steele. And he has kept one. He's got one assist as well, because when you think he did assist Mitoma's goal against Wolves with his goal kick, or the kick from his hands, and he's had 6 clean sheets this season out of 14 games. So that's not bad, really, considering how well he's done. But not bad at all. But yeah, I mean, would you have Sanchez at Newcastle there as a backup?
As a backup, yeah, potentially. Depends how much it costs. Because I know Trolls isn't going to like this, but we've got a very capable backup in Dubravka. And Eddie likes him, and if he doesn't want to go, he'll be on number 2 next season. Yeah, he went to Manchester United, realised the errors of his ways, and asked to come back.
Yeah.
He's our player. And even when he was there, he was our player. I think it's a little bit petty to hold a grudge so long when the guy came back and's been contributing. Players move clubs, they get loaned out all the time and they come back. Like, people were a little bit disappointed of some of the comments he made when he left. But people say things and then regret it.
Macy was quite pleased when he left Man United.
Yeah. Yes, he was. He's come back. And I think the thing with Dubravka is, if we're letting Darlow go and potentially Gillespie, we need another Premier League proven goalkeeper on the books. Karius isn't that. So I think he'll go for personal reasons anyway. So we don't want to be it means that gives us an area where we don't have to spend. I mean, at some point we'll get an improvement on Dubravka and Pope, but we've got other areas we need to concentrate on first. So I don't see Dubravka going anywhere this summer, unless someone comes in with a silly offer. Someone comes in with 20 million for him, you snap their hand off, but no one's going to do that.
Yeah. Nell says, hi, Tony and Roly. Good afternoon, Kel. Macy said she'd take Sanchez in a heartbeat. Yeah, he's got quality. Macy says, I can't see nothing less than a 3-0 win for Newcastle. Chelsea are so far. They're absolutely diabolical, aren't they? They're terrible, Macy.
Did you see them?
Only good players is Lewis, Hall, Enzo, despite being played out of position in their right winger. Anyone else beyond that is poor this season. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That Lewis Hall looks a good left back. He does, really.
Yeah, it's
only a teenager.
Yeah, he's a youngster that's done really well. He's one of the few that actually shows some effort and passion playing for Chelsea. And so he's probably thinking, what the hell did I force this move for?
You might be having second thoughts now. We've got Ayoxo on Twitch. Halal Madrid. Which Madrid though? Is it Real or Atletico? Let us do know. Hello chat says Neil. Lewis says I'd love it if we finish ahead of Man United. It all depends. I mean, I don't know about Macy, if just Macy in the chat, but do you think Man U tomorrow, Macy, play a weekend team with an eye on the cup final next week to not risk getting any injuries? Mitrovic's comeback is on fire. I think it's set up for a great game tomorrow. I could see it being a draw, that game. Troll says, heard Chelsea was good in the midfield, but awful at the rest of the pitch. And then Macy says, I think you should sell Dubravka. I don't think he's good enough. Karius number 2 and then get a third choice goalkeeper and someone who can learn the ropes, someone young. I mean, yeah, Macy, I see what you mean, but I think Karius might go to Italy because his girlfriend is a reporter over there, and obviously she's pregnant. So I think Karius is going to leave and go to Italy, in all honesty, though. I really do. Lewis Hall's brother is a Newcastle fan. I don't know if Lewis Hall is a Newcastle fan as well, says Mason. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, he has played against us as well at St James's. I will never back Dubs ever again, says Trolls.
Yeah, it's up to you, but I just think it's a little bit short-sighted. If Pope goes down, he's got to play.
Yeah.
You need to support him. You don't have to like him, but if he starts in goal for us, you've got to support him.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Tony Roly and all says, coffee, good afternoon, coffee, hope you're well. Nell says, hands down, Sunshine on Leith is a brilliant song by the Proclaimers, Craig and Charlie Reid from Hibernian. Yeah, because Celtic have just kicked off, haven't they? Alan says, you should keep Dubravka. Keep Dubravka. Good keeper will probably start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know. Eddie Howe's keeping his cards close to his chest on who's starting in goal. I think he's just keeping them on their toes, really, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Lewis Hall has carried Mudryk every time he's played, says Macy. Wow. Teenager having to carry Mudryk. I mean, Mudryk, I'm not being funny. We looked at him. Arsenal looked at him. But there was no way our clubs are going to pay £100 million for him. Oh, Chelsea will pay £100 million for him, though. Because they think they're getting a superstar. Yes, he done it for Shakhtar Donetsk. Yes, the Ukrainian league's a totally different league to Premier League. And although the Ukrainian league's currently being played in Poland at the moment because of what's going on in Ukraine. But I watched him for Ukraine against England. I thought he was poor. He just looked like somebody who's running around like a headless chicken. That's all he was doing. Yes, he's got the pace, but I don't see nothing else from him. No end product. Mickey's got more end product than what Mudryk's got. Even Maxi's got more end product than Mudryk. So yeah, I really don't get that one with the Mudryk thing, unless Pochettino improves them. Coffee says, I think Dubravka's in goal. Agree on the keepers there, Macy. Coffee says, nice to see youngsters and teenagers outclassing these so-called superstars. Exactly, Coffee. You're absolutely right. Macy says, I can't see us playing a weekend team. Ten Hag, regardless who we play, always plays a strong one. Only ones I see coming in is Rashford because of Anthony's injury, but maybe Malacia for sure. Interesting.
I mean, just a quick one for Maisie in the chat, if you can answer in the chat. Were you as disgusted as I was the way they treated Anthony when they took him off? Because he had this injury, he was down for ages, treated him, and then they pulled him to his feet. And he went down again pretty much straight away. I thought that was disgusting. I thought the medical team should have taken a lot better care of him than that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not a Man United fan, but the guy has a career. Right, he plays for Man United, but that doesn't mean that their own medical staff should mistreat him or allow people to pull him up when he's obviously got a serious injury.
Troll says 2 keepers, 31 and 34. We need a younger one, in my opinion.
Looking for one.
Lewis says, we are simply the best, better than all the rest. Yeah, absolutely, Lewis. Alan says, only opinion that matters is how regard Dubravka. Yeah, exactly. What young goalkeeper would you take to Trolls? I'll tell you who I would take. I would take the goalkeeper from Lille.
Is it Chevalier?
Yeah, all day. I like Coffee says, imagine if Gillespie is in goal and keeps a clean sheet. That would be funny. Diego from Porto.
It would be predictable the way that Chelsea are in front of goal at the moment.
Well, yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, they're just poor. Lampard should never be near a Premier League team.
I think Roy should be near a Championship team.
Well, yeah, he did well for Derby, I suppose, but yeah. I mean, Trolls has obviously mentioned Diego Costa. He's penalty saving and handling are his strengths. He's worth 48 million euros. He's 23. He's started 32 out of 32 games this season. And he's kept 15 clean sheets as well. So yeah, he's done well. He's had 4 errors that's led to a shot though, but none that's led to a goal and no penalties committed. So I suppose, okay, he's give errors away that's led to shots. We saw that in the World Cup when he nearly done a Shea Given. He put the ball down and didn't realise the player was behind him, and nearly cost Portugal that game. It was nearly an equaliser for Ghana, and it should have been. They should have scored really.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Paul says, should we sign the young Irish keeper? We got a keeper from Scotland, didn't we? I don't remember where he came from. Was it East Fife? I think he came from somewhere like that. Jude. Oh, I can't remember his surname now.
I think we did get an Irish one as well.
We've got an Irish defender, Alex Murphy.
No, that was, in the last window.
Oh, yes, from Bohemians we got one,
Yeah.
didn't we? Yes, we signed it. Yes, we did. Sorry, I do. Yeah, we did. The one I'm thinking of is Jude Smith, who we signed. We signed, East Fife, we got him from on a free transfer. That's the one. There we go. Macy says, only problem, Trolls, he has a release clause of 70 million euros. I don't think Porto will let him go for less. I'm not an overall massive fan of him after watching a lot of Portuguese league. I wasn't sold on him in the World Cup. I didn't think he was that great. Reece Byrne is his name, says Paul. Yes, that's right. Troll says, I don't think we will buy a keeper, though. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Be nice to get a young Irish keeper in again, and maybe another like Shea Given would be nice, says Lewis. Yeah.
I mean, Shea is arguably the best keeper we've ever had.
Macy agrees with you, Roly.
Yeah, I just thought it was terrible. The medical team have a duty of care for the players when they're injured. He's obviously injured. It was a nasty challenge he went down to, letting players drag him to his feet. You don't know how they could have aggravated the injury because they took him off in a stretcher at the end. So it's not just a little twist; it's a big injury.
Yeah,
and they allowed players to drag him to his feet. He wasn't happy about it. He got up, and within seconds, he was back down again. And the head should roll.
Yeah, Bias says, I'll tell you where's expensive. Venice. Anywhere else, if a city flooded and stank of crap, then they would call a plumber. Not the Italians, though. They called it the jewel in the crown. Oh, God, you love it, don't you? Hey. Macy says, talking off topic slightly with Anthony, do you think it was a fair challenge? A lot of United fans went mad saying Shalabar should have been carded. I thought the challenge was fair. I didn't see the challenge in all honesty, Macy, because I didn't see the game. So I can't really comment on that one.
I saw it. From what I remember, I don't think it wasn't like it wasn't a bad challenge. So it wasn't reckless. It's just the way that they caught him and went down. I can't remember if he played the ball or not, but I don't think my first thoughts when I saw it wasn't that he should be carded. But it's just the way that he caught him, the way he came out of the challenge. You can see he's really done his ankle. That's the way Anthony's foot was coming out of it. You can see it sort of twist. It's not that the Chalabar did his ankle. It's just the way he came out of the challenge. I would agree with Maisie. I didn't see it as a definite card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could have complained if you had got a yellow, but I don't think it was a definite.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's
Nelsie's.
Yeah, so Maisie's.
Yeah, Anthony's injury. Oh yeah, for the refell. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Nelsie's. Did Gillespie play for a Scottish team for a while? Yes, he played for Motherwell. That's where we got him from. Motherwell on a free. Alan says, won't be looking for a keeper for a couple of windows with FFP. Other positions are priority, absolutely, Alan. Yeah. But let's throw something back in the mix here. Right, you say we look for a keeper and you've got to find a top quality keeper. Right, let's go back. Quite a few years ago. We bought a keeper from League One at the time, and this goalkeeper turned out to be he turned out to be a great keeper. I mean, he was a good enough keeper for us as well, and he did really, really well. And we signed him from Charlton Athletic for £100,000.
Rob Elliott.
Rob Elliott. There you go. So if you remember, Rob Elliott, because there was a Robbie Elliott who was a centre half, a defender, left back. But Rob Elliott, yeah, I mean, we signed him from Charlton Athletic, back in 2011, and I thought he was a good servant to us, and I thought he did okay. The games he played, and he wasn't too bad at all, to be fair. She given absolute legend at Newcastle, yeah, definitely.
I don't know if anybody saw, they did a little thing on the Newcastle TV. It's goalkeeping masterclass. It's on YouTube. Look it up. And they had Shay Given come back, and then he did training with the goalkeepers. He's 50. He's still got it. It's a really interesting scene. And they had sort of like the first person view of him when he was doing the actual training with them, or the saving drills and stuff. And then he had a really good conversation with Nick Pope afterwards at the end of the video. It's well worth having a look. It's and so Shay Given was a legend. I truly believe he's been the best keeper we've ever had.
Yeah,
and we've had a few good keepers down the line. Now, I don't think Nick Pope will stay as long as Shay, because Shay came to us at a younger age.
21, Shay was.
Yeah, but Pope has the chance to be as good as to get his game as good as Shay. It's not far off, but he won't have the longevity because of his age.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. So I mean, Shay Given, I thought he was just he was top class. Shay Given wasn't he? And absolutely.
He's only short, but for a goalkeeper, he's only short. You see him
he's
against
6'1".
Yeah, that's what I mean. You see him against Nick Pope, and Nick Pope tires over him. But he's big for a goalkeeper. Oh, sorry, the level I put is quite small for a goalkeeper, even when he's playing. You're looking at goalkeepers being 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
You look at like a David James and Elk. So he was undersized, but he was one of the best keepers playing at the time.
Yes, definitely was. Yeah, absolutely. He was an absolute legend, Boschier, and should never have gone to Man City, but we all know why he went to Man City, and it's just an absolute travesty why he went to City though. But absolutely, totally agree with that one, Roly. I mean, we all remember when he signed for Newcastle, he looked so young, Shay Given. Mason Mount joining Man United would make Macy very happy, says Coffee. Macy says Anthony's out for 2 months, supposed to be a recurring injury from the Ajax days. Okay, that explains that one. Alan says the broadcast suits just now for the time being.
Yeah.
Macy says I'd love Mason Mount in all days. No, thank you, Macy. I wouldn't take Mason Mount in all ways. She means Macy and Mount. Niall says Newcastle looking went Newcastle looking at Lennon Miller, the son of Lee Miller from Motherwell, young Scottish talent. I've not heard anything on that one, so I'm not sure, Niall. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. Macy Mount. God. Niall, Harry Kane. Any rumours from Newcastle for James Maddison? Apparently, he has spoken with Trippier, but the thing is, apparently we're going in from early in the summer as soon as the window opens. So watch the space, I would imagine, on that one.
He's still high on our priority list. So it's just a case of let's get the season finished, then we can start looking at things like transfers and getting all these deals in place for when the window's open. Eddie said that he wants to try and get everyone in early, but it's not always that easy, because at the end of the day, it's up to the selling club when they let the player go, how awkward they're going to be in negotiations. But hopefully that will be one that's done early. The idea is to try and get as many in as you can before pre-season starts, so get a full season.
Jan says 20-year-old Bart Verbruggen from Anderlecht is a top young goalkeeper, and he is Dutch. And I've just pulled up his stats now. He's 20-year-old. He's 6'4", so he's still got time to grow. I mean, you don't stop growing until you're 21, so he could grow another couple of inches even. His player value is 4.7 million euros. He's got a contract till 2025. No outstanding strengths, no outstanding weaknesses. He's played 17 games, started 17 games. He's been in Team of the Week 3 times. He concedes 1.2 goals per game. And clean sheets wise, he's had 8 clean sheets this season, which isn't bad, and no cards whatsoever. So his disciplinary record is 100% spot on. I mean, I don't know a lot about Bart Verbruggen, but I tell you what, 20-year-old, he's got time to develop.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That's not a bad shout. Jan. I like that. Might have to see if I can watch a game or something and just see how he does in it. Yeah. I remember Newcastle signing Mark Gillespie from Motherwell, says Neil. Yeah, absolutely. People said that Watkins deserved an England call-up over Wilson, which was crazy. Wilson has been one of the best strikers in the recent months in the Premier League who can make an impact off the bench. Watkins can't. You're absolutely right, Macy. I mean, he has. Wilson's been in superb form. For some reason, he wasn't within the 3 months from the World Cup, well, from when it started back in December, the Premier League, up till March, he had only got, I think, 1 goal in that whole thing and 1 assist, and he just didn't look right at all. And there was something not right. But once he was benched for a bit and he started coming off the bench, we started seeing the real Callum Wilson. And I tell you what, if he starts tomorrow, he scores against Chelsea tomorrow. I bet he does. But I think Callum might even just start on the bench tomorrow and come off the bench, because I think Isak goes back up top.
I'm not sure. I think the problem is, Eddie said, we're running out of bodies, so he might stick with the front 3 that he has.
Yeah, but he might play ESM from the start, hopefully.
Yeah.
Paul says, I saw that with Shea Given. I'm surprised he's not a coach. Absolutely. Coffee says Shea Given today is still better goalkeeper than Pickford.
Even though they do have something in common, they both played for the Mackens, though Shea was only on loan.
Conwar says, I thought Anthony had been out all season. Very expensive ghost. If you are new at the channel, then please hit that subscribe, and also if you are, smash that likes as well. That'd be great. Thank you very much, everybody. Macy says, great move, sure, for Madison. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jan says, Madison's not the player we want.
No.
I think Eddie wants him, though.
Yeah.
Coma, Man Ewers, I agree. Macy says, I do believe Newcastle need a defensive midfielder, though. Yeah, Kefren Turam, maybe, or Emmanuel Corney. I would take him as well, definitely. So, yeah.
Apparently, apparently Kefren Turam's quite high on our list. That's what people have been, the reports have been saying. But central defensive midfield player is one that we've been looking at.
Yeah. Could get Lavia, says Coffee. I think Man City's got a buyback clause on him. But I'm not sure if it comes into effect this season or next season. I can't remember.
He's one of the few players at Southampton that came out with any credit.
Mm-hmm. What quality do you think will be the level of players in the window? He says, sorry, I mean, what level? I got that mixed up. What level of player? Well, Eddie's already said he wants elite players. So you want players who've got Champions League experience. That's what you want. You want them players to come in. there's talks that apparently we've opened talks with his agent of Dominic Szoboszlai. Whether that's true or not, I do not know. Again, that's just rumours. It might not be true. It could be a whole load of smoke, but who knows? But yeah, whoever comes in, I'm sure it would be fantastic. The players that are coming at the club, and the rumours are PIF are going to pull out a huge signing, which is going to surprise everybody. Who that is, I do not know. Whether again that's just media talk, who knows? But we shall wait and see on that one.
We just know that they are thrilled with the progress the team has made, and the Saudis like to back a winner. So Eddie will be backed in this transfer window.
Yeah. Macy says, having that competition at Isak, I'd say kicked Wilson up the backside. I have rated Wilson since he was at Bournemouth. Shame for the injuries, absolutely.
Yeah,
if he wasn't injured as much, he'd have a lot more goals.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it this season, he's got 18, and he's still missed quite a lot of games through injury. When he found his form, it's like, didn't matter whether he started or he came off the bench, he's scoring 2 goals a game.
Right. Here's a thought I've got, right? Now, you're probably going to think, oh, what's he thinking now? Right. I've got a thought for a goalkeeper we could bring in potentially in the summer. It wouldn't cost any money. On a free transfer in the summer. It might kick up a lot of fuss here. I do not know. But what you got to remember Champions League, homegrown. You need homegrown players. Now then, how about we re-sign Fraser Forster from Spurs?
I mean,
he's homegrown. He's from Hexham. He's homegrown. He was at Newcastle.
He could count for the club, one of the clubs for.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the club developed homegrown. I think obviously there'll be Sean Longstaff is obvious.
I just wanted to throw that curveball in. Does anybody else agree with that in the chat? Take Forster back. Just as backup. Nothing else. Not a main keeper.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll have enough of the club trained homegrown because you've got Sean Longstaff, you've got Paul Dummett, Lewis Smiley will possibly get in there because he's been sitting on the bench. If they keep Gillespie, he'd count as well. So it's or they could. I don't think they would keep Matty Longstaff, but he would. The good thing about the Champions League squads, it doesn't have to be the same as the Premier League squad, so you could keep someone for that, so that we've got the required numbers of club grown talent, and they not be in the Premier League squad. Someone like Lewis Miley can be registered as a homegrown, but because of his age, he doesn't count for the Premier League squad or the Champions League squad. So we've got a bit of flexibility there. I think there are probably enough players that have come through the ranks that I mean, some of the guys that have gone out on loan, Lewis de Bol. Was it Lewis de Bol?
Yeah, de Bol, yeah.
Yeah, he'd been on the bench a few times. So
Dylan Stevenson.
Yeah, Dylan Stevenson. Yeah, there are a few guys.
Joe White.
Yeah, there are a few guys that.
Turner Cook.
Yeah, he needs more work. And I saw he came on as a sub on Tranmere's last game of the season. You can see sparks, but he's still very rough around the edges. But there are players potentially that could coming back that would count as club trained homegrown for the Champions League, who had been on the bench previously. Yeah. So I can't see that happening. I don't think that we'll bring someone in just because they qualify for that homegrown.
No, I don't think so. But I just thought I'd throw that in there, Roly. I just thought so. Paul says, do you think we'll buy another striker with us only having Isak and Wilson? I think we will, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, if you lose Isak and then say Wilson gets an injury, who have you got as a backup striker? So yeah, I think will bring another striker in. I still think Marcus Thuram could come through the doors at St James's Park and on a free. Do you know what? Snap him up straight away.
It all depends on his wage demands. But I think we won't necessarily get a striker, but someone that can play there effectively, like Thuram.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Jan says, Lewis says, is Gillette the referee tomorrow? The Aussie? Yes, he is. Lewis, yeah, absolutely. Jan says, I've still got connections in Anderlecht, and he is the next best thing after Thibaut Courtois. That sounds absolutely fantastic and brilliant, that Jan. I mean, you know what? He's probably not been on a lot of clubs' radars, but if he's that good, then I think, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if the club do. Well, who knows? They could be looking at him. We don't know. Paul says, I would love Madison. His stats have been consistent for years. Absolutely. Macy says, I think Ugarte or Alvarez is two good shouts. One which I think you'll get fairly cheap is Quinton Timber from Feyenoord. He's been amazing in Feyenoord's defence. Yeah, they won the title in Eredivisie. They did very well. The manager, Arne Slot, has told Tottenham to go and jump. He doesn't want to go there. Seems like nobody wants to go to Tottenham Hotspur. You know, they might even have, they could even go and ask a 3-year-old to take over, and they would probably say, Tottenham, no, thank you, no.
I heard
3-year-old probably rather go to nursery than go to Tottenham.
I saw this in Aldi earlier. There's this woman with a little kid, and she's giving a little kid a bag to carry, and she asked the lad, "Oh, can you manage?" He says, "Yes, but I don't want to be the Spurs manager."
Yeah, brilliant, Roly. Excellent one. Excellent, mate. Excellent. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah. But Ugarte, yeah, I definitely have Manuel Ugarte. Absolutely. Lavia is a good shout. He will be a top midfielder to come, says Jan. Absolutely. But I think Man City's got to buy back on him. Yeah. Lewis says, I'd take Sam Barnes. He's a defender, 23-year-old, plays for Blackburn. Hopefully, young lad come and be good, by the way. He's my mate. Sam Barnes. It's whether he's good enough for Premier League, though, that's a thing. And, you know, that's no disrespect to him. I'm not saying he's a rubbish defender or anything, but it all depends whether he's good enough for the Premier League. And that's the thing. You've got to step up to the Premier League, you know. And but, yeah, not a bad shout, you know. Not a bad shout at all. I mean, look, we're looking for a left-back, right? Apparently so. See, we're apparently looking for a left-back. Now then, there's a left-back going in the summer for free. Well, he plays left-back and centre-half. And his name's been linked a few times to Newcastle, but nothing's been made concrete of it. But now he's out of contract in the summer. He's only 23. I'll go back. I would take him, Evan Ndicka. His contract's up. Free transfer. He can play left back and centre half.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't.
Very, very good defender. He's French.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the problems that the team are going to have, the recruitment team is going to have, there's so many good players out there, and we can only buy so many. It's narrowing it down. And I think with the talent that's available, I think there's a strong likelihood that it's going to go down to things like personality and work ethic that will decide who. For example, let's say you're looking at Kone and Thuram, Khafre Thuram. They're both very, very good players I would say of a similar standard. So why would you go over one than the other? And they'll probably be looking at the personality, team work ethic would make the decision between the two if we're going for those two, one of those two.
Well, then, yeah. And Dicker's value is 31 million euros, but obviously it'd be free because he'd be on a free. His strengths are his positioning. His weaknesses are long balls, hitting long balls out. But, I mean, he started 29 of 29 games this season. He's got 1 goal. He's been involved with 6 clean sheets, and he has committed 1 penalty, but no other errors than that. And he's had 4 yellow cards all season. Again, on a free in the summer, I'd be all over this. I would be all over this. Because it doesn't affect your FFP either.
Well, the wages do, but obviously,
but the transfer fee don't. So you're not paying a transfer fee out for him.
Yeah,
because he's free.
I mean,
best things in life are free.
We don't know who we're going after. I mean, obviously, right centre back is one of the players that we're looking for. So it could be the things that come out in the press are the ones that the club want you to know about, or want the reporters to know about. And there may be others that, I mean, look at Bruno. There wasn't an inkling of that until we heard that they'd gone over to Brazil to talk to him. And within 2 weeks it was done. He hadn't been linked with us at all.
No.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's scrambling for YouTube to watch videos of him playing because they've never heard. Who's this Bruno Guimaraes guy?
Yeah, who is he? Yeah.
And I think that the club keep the cards close to the chest. There's some. I mean, James Maddison is an obvious because we've made bids for him in the last 2 windows. Everyone else, I mean, we're going to be linked with so many players.
Every man his dog.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very, very careful that I don't wear football boots because I'm sure I'll be linked to us if I did.
I think you'll be safe, Roly.
Yes, so do I. but you know what I mean, though.
Javier the lad says Bono Sosa, Ignacio Goncalo, that's Goncalo Ramos, Szoboszlai, Golovin, Nico Williams, and Marnie. Well, I wouldn't have Marnie because he's not got the attitude, and I think he's too old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, some interesting names in there. Coffee says City have been keeping an eye on Kimmich, and he's apparently worth 43.5 million. Okay, not a bad player. Peter says, yes, Man City do have a buyback clause for Lavia the Swains. Well, yeah, you knew they were going to do that anyway because they obviously saw the potential and thought, hang on a minute, let's have a look at him and let's think, oh yeah, if we put a buyback clause on him, if he has a great time at Southampton, we can take him back and we've got a great player on our hands. So, Forster says Coffee. Well, that's what I said.
I don't think.
Macy says Tony Roly. If you're also interested in centre backs for the future, highly recommend watching Diamande from Sporting. You won't be disappointed. Is he that good? Is he, Macy? I've not heard of him. I will check out his stats. Usman Diamande, he's called. He's Ivory Coast international. He's 6'3". He's 19 years of age, so wouldn't even take a Premier League place in your squad. He's rated 4.2 million euros. He's played 11 out of 13 this season, been team of the week once. He's got 1 goal, and he's been involved for 5 clean sheets, and he's only got 3 yellow cards. Do you know what? That sounds great, Macy. I like the look of him. Usman Diamande. So there we go. Usman Diamande. Sounds a good one. That's I wouldn't be surprised to be a few clubs in for him if he's that good. Fraser Forster, I would take him, says Lewis. How are you, the lads? I'd have Forster as a 2. Dubs and Lloris will be off. Homegrown Dummett will stay for this reason, says Howie the lads. Yeah, Dummett is staying for that reason. Forster is gigantic. He's so tall, says Coffee. Yes, he is, isn't he?
Isn't he the same height as Pope?
No, he's about 6'7", 6'8".
a bit bigger.
He's a big lad. You wouldn't want to mess with him, Roly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. He's 6'7", 4-star.
Okay, it's a couple of inches taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hexham Wall.
Mm.
Alan says, with our revenue not being massively up with every man and his dog buying football shirts from the club, it was boycotted for years, so we'll be well up. Yeah, that's a great point, Alan. It should be. And not only that, with the sponsors coming in. Now, I mean, look, we've got the sponsorship. You know, we're going to have a front of shirt sponsor. The rumours are CLR or Salah, however you pronounce the name. But should we not be doing what other clubs do? Luton Town do the same, for instance, right? They have the main shirt sponsor on their match shirts. But more importantly, they have a training top sponsor as well. So, like, rather than having, like, as this is a training top and it's got Funny 88 on, so rather than having Funny 88 or see Seller on there next season, if it's Seller to be, you could have a different sponsorship on there, you know? Somebody totally different. Look, I'm just gonna pluck a name out the air. Say, for instance, it was Etihad Airways. You could have Etihad Airways sponsoring the training kit. I think that's a great idea. Plus, brings more revenue into the club as well. And I'm not saying it's Etihad Airways by any way. I just plucked a name out the air. Pardon the pun as well with that one, plucking out the air. But yeah, I mean, Roly, do you like that idea? If we had a training kit sponsor as well, because that would bring more money in if it was, like, say, 25 million a season.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be allowed to have it that high, but more sponsors the merrier. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they look at some of the other teams to get them sponsored. So obviously you have Salah or whoever it is as the main first team sponsors, but have a different sponsor for, say, the under 23s, the under 18s. That sort of
I don't think you're allowed to, though.
We've still got the training ground to be sponsored. Why not sponsor the bootlaces of the players?
Well, why don't we just go down the Man City route where they've got about 100 sponsors at £1 million each, and that brings 100 million a year into your club, and they go under the radar because they don't have to go through Premier League approval. Yeah. So, want to think about. But guys, get your thoughts on what do you think about that training kit sponsor. Man, you have one as well. Tesos, isn't it? Coffee says, I think we need another striker because Wilson may get injured again. Yeah. Mason says, I think people may disagree, but I would get Bazzuno from Southampton. He'll improve a lot from Eddie Howe, the goalkeeping staff, and Nick Pope. Yeah, I think he was just too young to be thrown in the Premier League. I just thought it's not his fault he's conceded all these goals. The fact is, Southampton have been poor everywhere on the pitch.
Yeah.
David Knight. Hi guys, late to this one. Hope you're both really well. Yeah, absolutely fine, David. And just looking forward to the last game of the season. Well, we're not really because we don't want the season to end, but
I don't want it to end at some stage. I don't want it to end because we've been so great, but I do want it to end because we're guaranteed Champions League football now. So why risk the chance of getting caught?
Javier the lad says Elliot Anderson also homegrown. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I forgot about him, says Lewis. Yeah. I don't know about a sticker, but we need a striker, says Jan. Yeah. Howie the lads, Lucas de Balls has problem with his vision. It's a new one. Joel says if we bring Dummett, we might as well bring in a youngster, in my opinion.
Well, the thing about Dummett is that he's very influential off the park, behind the scenes. As one of the senior players, being at the club for the longest of anybody. He can do a job if asked.
Yeah. Now, he has a good one, Roly. Coffee. Thoughts on Marco Asensio available on a free? Do you know what? That's not a bad shout. I like him. He's a right winger. Yes, we know he is. Real Madrid, 27-year-old. He's passing in long balls, or he's, his strengths. He's got no weaknesses. and his value is 26 million euros, but obviously he's out of contract, so he'd be a free. He started 15 out of 30 games for Madrid this season. He's been team of the week 4 times. He's got 9 goals and 6 assists in La Liga. Accurate passing is 88% per game. And he's had 1 yellow card all season. Marco Asensio, do you know what? I wouldn't say no to that. I'd be absolutely all over that.
It all depends on, as he's on a free, it all depends on what wages he wants. Because you don't want to be messing up the wage structure. That's the only concern that I have.
Problem is, Roly, it's going to have to happen one day. They're going to have to start.
But we need to do it incrementally.
Players are going to have to start accepting it. So, unfortunately, players are going to have to start accepting it, that the wage structure is going to be.
Yeah, but you don't do it all in one go. You've got to make sure, again, you've got to make sure that the finances are in place to be able to deal with it under FFP, which is what they're doing now with all the sponsorships.
Asensio is Champions League ready as well.
I'm not. I mean, I don't have a problem with the player, his ability, or whether he's good enough to play for us. It's just that obviously the moment if you've got Bruno on whatever is it, 120 a week, and then you bring someone in on 300, he's going to come and say, "Look, I've been your best player for 18 months. I want a new contract." And then you get Isak coming in and saying, "I want to be up there." And then it screws up your FFP because you've got a massive increase in wage bill. So you need to do it, let's say, it's process driven. You need to follow the process. So once we get all the sponsorship in place, you can, and some of the lower paid players have left the club, you can then start paying more to your top players and bringing in players on higher wages. You change your wage structure. I was listening to Ben Jacobs on one of the UFC Matters programs talking about FFP. So it's one of the problems Leicester had when they won the league, got Champions League. They bought the likes of Tielemans on big money, and then next season they didn't make Champions League, and then they only made the Europa League for 2 seasons. So they still got all these players on big money, but the revenues had dropped significantly because they weren't playing Champions League. So that's why you have to be, when you're growing, until the revenue catches up to where you need to be, you can't be getting in players on wages are a lot more than your top earners, because they're going to want pay increases, and rightly so. And then you run into that danger that you're going to get on. I mean, that's one of the problems Everton has got. They brought in so many players on ridiculous wages that when they didn't get the success they thought they were going to get, they still got this massive drain on their FFP with wages. And no one wants to get by the players because they're on too much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd have him, but he's probably going to want too much, especially being at Real Madrid. He's going to want too much more money than we're prepared to give, even though he's on a free.
Yeah. Alan says, I think we need more than 2 strikers for Champions League. One gets injured and you're stumped. Yeah, I totally agree. Howie the lad says, Asensio's overrated. Foxy says, we need a young forward that's mostly for the future and also able to contribute right now, a bit like Isak.
No, Isak... yeah, a bit like Isak. I mean, but then if you're buying another one like Isak, you want to play him. If you're looking for someone that can develop and do a job at that similar age, that could
someone like Goncalo Ramos you want. He's a youngster, 21, 22. So yeah,
I did hear rumblings in the press that they're thinking. I don't know how true it is that they're looking at Ekateke again after he didn't burn his bridges with the club. That was his agent. They didn't have a problem with the player. He just got badly advised. He's gone to PSG and it's not worked out there, which everybody said it wouldn't because of the players in front of him. So it may have been a good lesson for him. If PSG want rid of him at the right price, they obviously saw something in him.
Is he not just on loan there at PSG?
No,
he's just been on loan.
It's loan with an obligation to buy.
Oh, so they have to buy him, do they?
Yeah. So,
All right, okay. Alan says he agrees with Macy about Ugarte top player. Harvey Barnes says coffee. Well, I like Harvey Barnes coffee, but Roly doesn't.
no, let me clarify that. I like Harvey Barnes, but I don't like him for us. I think we can get better. That's all. He's a very good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think we'll be looking for a higher grade of player than Harvey Barnes.
David says, I love Tottenham's demise, as Levy was the main muppet trying to block our takeover. Sweet, sweet karma. Do you know what it is? It's backfiring on him now, yeah. Because as soon as he wanted to block our takeover, he then went to the Saudis and Amanda Stavey and said, come by Tottenham. And they turned around and said, no chance, we don't want to take the debt on, thank you very much. Yeah. Troll says, Bruce is available, just saying let him go, Levy ASAP. Well, by the looks of things, they're not going to have a manager next season because nobody wants to take the, Foxy says 20-year-old Nigerian Gift Orban would be perfect, to be honest, from Ghent. Check him out. I mean, Foxy knows his stuff. I mean, I know he knows he's South American, but he knows his African stuff as well. I will after the show, actually, Foxy. I'll check him out. Gift Orban, yeah, that sounds that sounds brilliant. Gift Emmanuel Orban is his name. 20-year-old from Ghent. He started 12 out of 14 He started 12 out of 14 games. He scored 15 goals. And he's got 2 assists. I mean, 15 goals. His scoring ratio is every 71 minutes. Wow.
He's playing in the Belgian league. That's my biggest worry. Still a great goal rate, but
3 yellow cards. Yeah, but he's only worth 9.4 million euros. And probably wages, he'd probably not be on something huge anyway. He's probably not on massive
I
wages
just
over
worry
there.
about the adjustment from the quality of league he's playing into the Premier League. I mean, you look at Mitro when he came to us. He had a tremendous record at Anderlecht, and he struggled in the Premier League. It took him. He had to go down a division, then come back before he actually became a decent. It took him 4 years to become a decent Premier League striker.
Mm-hmm.
It's the quality of the league. Once you start shopping in the Belgian league, I think you're looking at will their performances in that league translate to the Premier League? It's not so bad the French, German, Spanish, Italians, but they're sort of the higher class leagues. I mean, the way you look at it, how many players top class players do you see going to the Belgian league? They leave the Belgian league. I'm not saying they're not good players, but I think that they don't translate as well into the Premier League. So
yeah, but he's only young. I mean, remember he's got time to develop.
Yeah, it all depends on whether you're looking at someone that's to go into your youth system. Well, if that's the case, I think he's probably a bit old for that. But I, as a Premier League, coming into the Premier League as a striker, playing in the Belgian league, I'd give it a miss myself.
What you would?
Yeah, I think the gamble's too great. And we can find better in a stronger league for a similar price. I mean, it's a sort of it's a guess, but you can the way I look at it is you look at how many players have come straight from the Belgian league to the Premier League. There are not many. They tend to go to either Holland or France or Germany first before they come over. I just think that the gap between the Premier League and the Belgian league is too big for a youngster to adjust quickly. I saw them against West Ham. Well, they've had some nice plays, but they weren't that great.
Mm-hmm.
and they're one of the better clubs in Belgium. So that's it's like when you move from the Championship to the Premier League, there's a big difference in quality, and that's why historically promoted teams have struggled. Particularly the playoff teams have struggled in the Premier League because the gulf in class is so big, and it's that sort of gulf you've got between the Premier League and the First Division in Belgium. Unless there was some sort of the next coming of De Bruyne, I'd still stay well clear.
Yeah. Dear says, never like Spurs. He always got the players they were linked with, like Van der Vaart, Modric, because our previous owner wouldn't pay it, and Dick on a free would be class. Right, let's put the Modric one right, because technically we were ready to sign Modric, but because Spurs came in for Modric, our former owner said to Spurs, "Oh, you can have Modric instead. We'll step back and let you have him," because his mate was on the board, Paul Kemsley. You know, that's the sort of owner we had. You know, doing his mates favours. Dickhead, in other words, that's what he was. Was our former owner. Lewis says Sam Bonds is 22, so I made a mistake. That's no worries, mate. Isn't Kefren Turam, we have a long-term injury? I don't know, does he?
Not.
Or doesn't? Oh, he has. Doesn't have a long-term injury. Oh, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I've not heard of him being in any of the reports linking us that he's injured at all.
Yes, you are right, Coffee. You did see that. Yes, Nunes did turn down Man United and Newcastle to play in the Champions League club and didn't want to step down to Europa. Where's he next season? Oh, hang on, Nunes, you're playing in the Europa League next season. I wonder if you're going to request a transfer to leave and go to a Champions League club. Because if you are, Mr. Teeth did say on his press conference, any player that wants to leave, he'll happily drive them. So there you go. If you want to go, Klopp will drive you to the airport.
Yeah, but what Champions League team of having? Couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo at the moment.
Jan says, yes, we need 2-3 top players, around 40 million, and they're top class players between 19 and 22 from around 20 or 30 million. Best buy to get the youngsters in and 2 older players. Not a bad show. Welcome downstairs, Nunes. Strolls. Now I'm watching YouTube videos of Sabozlai, says Coffee. Great, in it? Great. Madison is too expensive for me, says Jan. There are better young players out there for a lot less.
It depends how much we get him for.
Yeah. Moni has experience and goal scorer and Champions League experience, says how are the lads. It's his attitude off field, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
And his wages.
Yeah. Alan says, same with Isak. Roly, like Bruno, just heard we're almost done. 100% Sabozlai on his way to the tune. I put £100 on it, says Jan. Wow. He's confident.
Yeah.
Oxy says the problem with Ndicka is a lot of clubs are interested, apparently demanding at least 200 grand a weekend altogether with agents' fees. 50 million euros package.
Well, he won't get 200k a week from us.
Sabozlai has a bit of the Robert Lee about him, says how are the lads. Yes, he does, doesn't he? They were talking to one of Rob Lee's sons this morning on TV, Ollie Lee, who scored the goal that secured Luton's rise from League 2 to League 1. And, you know, he was saying he's happy his brother got promoted with Wrexham. And the reporter says, and your old man will be happy with what's happening with Newcastle getting the Champions League. And Ollie Lee says, yes, he says, my dad's very happy Newcastle's in the Champions League. He says, at the moment, the Lee household is absolutely buzzing. So there we go. So we know Rob Lee is, yeah.
Rob Lee, what a player. What a player.
Yeah.
So it's 700. Is it 700,000 we paid for him from Charlton?
700,000 from Charlton, yeah.
Yeah. And apparently Kevin Keegan told him that Newcastle was closer to London than Middlesbrough, because Middlesbrough were in for him as well. So he obviously was thinking about football during geography lessons. And
he also said, when the final whistle went on Monday against Leicester, he says, my old man said, right, I've got a brand new bottle of whiskey that has to be cracked open and I have to have a drink to the tune. Nice one. Coffee says, "Oh, to be a great football agent, catching, absolutely." So Bosley would be great, says Alan. Absolutely, yeah. Alan. Jan, a player I have missed, I'd have instead of Madison as Golovin or Geary. Oh yeah, Geary. I mean Geary. We were linked with him, weren't we? Coffee says, "It feels like last month was the 2022-23 season began." Yeah. Paul says, "We will build little more sponsors in the Monsters and all the other brands and just get Noah last year." Absolutely, yeah. We'll get them display boards filled up with sponsorships as well. It won't just be one sponsor in the whole stadium. There'll be various ones.
Yeah.
I mean, the lad says, "I don't want any other injuries tomorrow. Just play a fringe team." We've got pre-season, so I think we'll be all right.
As long as it's not serious.
Troll says, "Dummett's legs are gone. Easy to see why when he last played."
Yeah.
So Bosley reminds me of Asensio when he first burst onto the scene, says Paul. Asensio know we can get 3 young players for his money. Yeah. Troll says, "Really hope Isak plays as a striker tomorrow. He would use there as defence as roundabouts." Ekiteki, come on down. The price is right, says Alan. Coffee says, "Ekiteki can stay at PSG since Messi and Neymar are leaving and he will get game time." So Bosley's in a Pushkas, says Jan. What a player. Well, before my time was Pushkas, but apparently he was a hell of a player. Alan says, "Totally 1,000,000% about Levy Karma." Don't want Ekiteki. Don't want Ekiteki, says how are the lads? Onion bag is the same size whatsoever. Levy, Uncle Fester. What do you think? Levy looks like Uncle Fester, I suppose. I suppose if you look at it, yeah, it does look like Daniel Levy, doesn't it? But he looks more Ten Hag than Levy, I think.
I think Levy looks more like Gru from what's it? The one with the minions. Gru. Yeah. Despicable Me. The main one.
How the lad says Levy's missus is fine. He must mean nice looking. Though I wonder why she's with him. Money. Well, there's your answer, how the lads. Yeah, exactly. Not for his looks or anything else, just for his money. Alan says, "Would you take Mitro as a backup striker? It would probably cost too much." No, I don't think so. No. I agree, but Mitro did not have no wingers to help him at the tune, says Jan. So he agrees with you, Roly, but he didn't have the help there.
Yeah.
Mitro was young and frozen out by a negative, has been in Steve Bruce.
It's Rafa that got rid of it. It was
Rafa, Tez. Beanhead Tez. Oh, that's why he must mean. And Foxy says, "Gift Orban made his debut for Ghent in February in total 20 goals in 20 games, 19 and 24 at Stabæk in Norway at 19. He will be better than Osimhen." Wow. Don't discount this guy, Roly. Gift Orban. What are you going to say? What are you going to say if Newcastle signed him? Are you going to say we shouldn't have signed him?
Oh, I'll never say that about anybody that we sign unless they turn out to be really well support them. I just, as I said, I don't know much about the guy, and as I said before, my worry is that moving from a league the quality of the Belgian league to a league the quality of the Premier League, he may struggle.
Yeah.
And I think most players in the Belgian leagues would struggle coming into the Premier League. If he turns out to be as good as Osimhen, good for him.
Yeah, I agree with Alan. Modric has turned out to be a great player. What key areas do Newcastle need?
Left back, centre back, 2 midfielders, and a winger.
I think another striker as well. You need backup.
Yeah. It all depends on how many they're going to want, how many players they want to buy.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is they don't want to disrupt the harmony in the camp. Maybe they get 3 now and a couple in the January window. You don't know how they're looking at it, because obviously they're going to get players in. We don't know how many. I know Eddie was playing it down, saying that he's looking for two or three elite quality players. Now, is that saying that that's all we're going to buy, or of the players we're going to buy, they're going to be 2 or 3 elite players? It is very vague, as Eddie always is.
Joe Linton says, don't want Madison look like he can't be asked this season. I think it's just because he's playing in a poor Leicester team, in all honesty. The whole
He's
team.
been when you look at his actual output, the goals he scored and assists, that stands up with most attacking midfielders in the league. It's just the rest of the team's been shite.
Joe Linton says, loan to buy Calvin Phillips. I'll take him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would see that.
Foxy, for you, Roly. Osimhen came from the Belgian league with Charleroi before joining Lille. Just like every league, you'll get your hit or miss signings.
Yeah, but he went to Lille. Lille are playing at a higher quality league than Belgium, which is my point.
Yeah,
then the jump to Serie A from the French league isn't a big one. I just think the jump directly from the Belgian league to the Premier League is too big. So he was in Belgium and then went to France. So he's had an upgrade in the competition he's playing in. Then he went to Italy, which is another jump up. So he's taking steps to get to where he is. I just think the step up is too big to do in one go. If we buy him and he turns out they're worldy, he can prove me wrong. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the fact that Osimhen went to Lille before he went to Napoli almost proves my point. He's gone to a better league before he's gone to a better league.
Howie the lad says Ollie Lee had to retire with a form of arthritis. He was better than his younger brother. Interesting. Klopp had a driving ban because his teeth got so bright it blinds the oncoming traffic. Jan says, Foxy, you talk a lot of sense, mate. You must be my age. I've seen it all, says Jan. Pushkas, before your time. Well, you missed a lot then. Yeah. Alan says, I'll see Tuna playing Rangers July. 8,000 tickets. That will be nice and quiet in Glasgow. Yeah. Won't it just 8,000 fans? I mean, absolutely brilliant that in a game with 8,000 tickets. If Levy is Festa, then Klopp is Lurch. Klopp looks like the professor from Money Heist, says Coffee.
It looks more like Mr. Ed.
Yeah. Yeah. Howie the lad says Madison's been class in the Shea team. 10 goals, 9 assists, I think. Yeah. That's what Roly was on about. Troll says, if we want to be in all the cups in the Prem, we need at least 5, in my opinion, coming through the door.
Yeah, I think
Philip Albert went from the Belgian league to us. Didn't do too bad, lol, did he? No, he didn't. No. Yeah.
I mean, Philip Albert was older when he came to us for one thing, and the Premier League at that time isn't as far ahead as the Belgian league as it is now. But yeah, he's a seasoned international as well. It's not just that. So he was a good player. But I think what was he about 27, 28 when he came to us, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, and he played in World Cups. Obviously in Europe. It's different for a 20-year-old. He was pretty much the finished article in his prime, but this guy's still developing. So it's not really a fair comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alan says, I think Madison would star in our team. Needs someone as good as Bruno. Remember how off team is when Bruno's missing? Absolutely. Jan says, you're missing the point. If you go to better leagues and they have the better team, you were just fine to fit in.
Yeah, Yeah, some players do make the transition, but it's more miss than hit.
Yeah.
This guy could be one that comes in and takes to it like a duck to water, but it's the gamble because you don't know until they actually get here. And at that age, if you're looking for someone that's going to make, if you're just looking for him to be a squad member and a backup, the gamble's not so great. But if you're looking for him to have a starring role, I think my personal opinion is the jump's too big at that age.
Troll says Klopp would win the race by the skin of his teeth. Albert was 26, I think, says Howie the Lads.
Yeah, it's just entering.
He probably was.
That's 6 years older than this guy, and he's entering his prime.
Joe Linton says we need 10 in. We do need a clever 10, Alec. Felix says Howie the Lads. He's linked, isn't he? But if the money comes down for him, because he's not wanted at Atletico Madrid anymore.
And it also depends on how much is being paid as well.
Apparently we're rivaling Forest for running Lodi.
Now, that'd be an interesting one because he's now got a year of Premier League experience. And we were looking at him before we signed Target on a permanent deal.
Forest could have had him for 25 million, but that clause ran out because they weren't sure whether they're going to be in the Premier League or so. But they're trying to negotiate a deal with Atletico because apparently he's got no future there, apparently. Look, boys, I'm on Belgium now, living in the UK for 45 years, and believe me, Belgium have top players and are all in top teams. Do you know what? I agree with you. I mean, I know we got... Do you remember we bought Matt Sells, and he wasn't the best goalkeeper. Let's be honest, he wasn't. And he's gone to France now, and he's playing all right in France. But, you're going to get your one-off hits and misses.
It's not to say that Belgium don't produce good players, because they obviously do. You look at Lukaku,
Vincent Kompany.
They've had one of the best teams in the world. But you look at the players that have been in those teams, how many, all those squads, how many of them actually been playing in Belgium when they've reached those heights? Not many. That's the point.
So I get Roly's point, but you could say a Belgian league is better than the Paraguayan and Ecuador league, which it is, but Caicedo and Enciso flying at Brighton. Also, Caicedo went on loan to the Belgian team first.
I mean, that's like, as I say, it's not every.
Foxy's right. He is right.
I mean, we can both be right on that because it's not every. My comment is not every player from the Belgian league can't. I'm not saying that every player from the Belgian league can't make it in the Premier League. But you picked Ecuador and was it Paraguay? There are not many that come through and do that, which is my point. That's why it's the gamble, because there are not many. Caicedo and what's his name? The young
Enciso. Julio Enciso, yeah.
They're the exception rather than the rule coming over.
Look. Right, I'm going to throw this curveball in because apparently this player is linked to going to Sunderland for £3 million from Birmingham City. Jude Bellingham's brother, Joe Bellingham. Apparently he's a star of the future. This guy, he's only 17. He plays as a forward. He's only started 5 out of 22 games. Again, depends how good he develops. You can't say because he's a brother of Jude Bellingham, he's going to be the exact same as Jude Bellingham. Will it be somebody to take a punt on or not?
As a development player, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, the way you look at it is that you look at Shola and Sammy Amiobi. Shola was much better than Sammy, even though they're brothers.
Yes, yeah.
So just because he's his brother isn't a reason to sign. He's a brother of Jude, isn't a reason to sign him if he's got ability. If clubs thought he had the potential to be as good as Jude, he wouldn't be in talks with Sunderland.
Yeah. Gary says it looks like I've missed out of the show. Yeah, you have, Gary, and all you have to do is after the show just catch up with what you missed, mate. But The answer, I figure out if we get 9 new players, young and old, and a bit older. BT says, would we have any issues playing Champions League in Spain in light of the Vinicius racist abuse? How could Newcastle and the Premier League help our players? That's a good question. I would hope by then it'll be sorted out.
It's an issue that's never going to be sorted out. But
no, but it's terrible.
Yeah, and I think one of the things with what's been happening to Vinicius, it's not just in the ground; it's outside the ground as well. On social media, that had people hanging effigies of him.
Yes,
it's
disgusting.
It's disgusting, and it's almost gone beyond racism. It's racist, but they've taken it to that personal level as well for some reason. It's vile, but it's one of those things. Racism in sport will never go away, but it can improve because it will never leave society. But it improves. It's a lot. I mean, when I was growing up in the 70s, I was born in 67, so I don't remember to the 60s, but the 70s and 80s, just the normal accepted stuff that was on TV, the racist stuff. Now people are shocked that they ever even thought that they'd be allowed to have it on TV because we've moved so far. I mean, the stuff I used to watch Love Thy Neighbour, and for some of the younger people in the audience, is basically looking about two families, a black family and a white family. The white family were essentially racist. But the way they actually did the story, the black family always came out on top, but the language and the like is of its time and has no place in the modern society.
No.
But there's still...
Joe Litton says you wanted Bamford, Roly.
Who said I wanted Bamford?
Apparently you did.
I've never wanted Bamford. So I wouldn't want Bamford pouring me a pint, let alone playing for Newcastle United.
Foxy says, I would much rather take Gift now at a decent price and worst case, loan him to a French first team rather than him shine in France, which is what he would do and end up costing 5 times the amount. You know what? You're absolutely spot on.
That's a good shout. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem.
That is excellent.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get him for 10 million, loan him to somewhere like Rennes or Nice or somewhere like that. And
that is an excellent suggestion, Foxy. As I say, I have nothing against the player. I don't know much about him. It's the league that he's playing with. If we bought him and loaned him out to a French side, it's almost like following Osman. He's gone from Belgium to France, then to a top-class league. I'd have no problems whatsoever with that. Whether the player or the club will do that, it doesn't matter.
And Cecil's magic, he is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alan says, will Chelsea sell players to us? Not sure who would take. Did they pinch Felix from us? They got Felix on loan, but no, I don't think Chelsea would sell to us.
I wouldn't want to buy players from Chelsea, and I hope nobody else does, because that's really, with them not being in Europe, they've got to shift players for FFP, because they'll get into trouble with FFP because they've lost all the European revenues. Yeah. If no one buys them, they're stuck with this massive wage bill. They're screwing even more. So no, I don't want to buy anyone from Chelsea.
Joe Litton, what's next? We signing Nana Bellingham. Nah, I just threw that one in the mix just as a development player more than anything. I just, you know. But if you let him go to the Mackhams. I like Coffee says, if the racist Spanish fans rail up our players, we're good at shithousing and make use of the dark arts on the media. Keep accusing us of. Yeah, absolutely. Jesus, Rory, are you 60? Says Jolin.
I'm not far off, to be honest. I'm not far. 56.
There you go. I'm a lot younger. Howie the Lad says comedy and TV was better years ago. It was, absolutely.
It depends.
I enjoyed Mr. Bean. Coffee like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Gary says, love thy neighbour. They're all on YouTube. Mr. Roly.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to watch and you want to watch, you can, but it's not something I care to watch again.
I thought Roly was 28, says Coffee.
What you've been drinking? Coffee.
Coffee.
What have you been putting in your coffee?
Yeah.
I'm
Jan says,
56.
if this would be our first team, would you give them a chance in Premier League for top 4? Caicedo, Inacio, Truffert, Ganonto, Kefren Turam, Diaby, Szoboszlai, Todibo, Verbruggen. I bet they make it. Possibly, yeah.
The thing is, you're doing a Nottingham Forest and changing a complete team, so
Yeah.
it takes time to gel. So I mean, that's one of the reasons for not buying too many players in the close season, because you still need that you need people to fit in, not to drastically change this team.
Alan says they won't see out in the Champions League would just get thrown out. Spanish fans. Foxy says Spain don't look at this as racism. Making an insult about a family member is viewed as just as bad as racism. That's the issue, really. Italy, similar to the UK, isn't perfect, but far ahead in this aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Joe Litton says, no, Roly, you look 40.
No, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, definitely, Roly. Why not? Right, okay. Yeah, so Roly, what is your prediction for tomorrow?
I think a lot of it depends on what team we put out, because is he going to rest players? And we know Joe Linton's out, we know Nick Pope is out. If we have a strongish team out, I think we win this one.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, because Chelsea were awful against Manchester United. If play like that, even with a weakened team, I think we can win 2-0.
We've got somebody in the chat. It's absolutely hilarious. Sorry, I've just lost it. Sorry, guys, I've absolutely lost it. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, what was your score, Roly?
2-0.
2-0. Right, let's get to it, because obviously it just makes me laugh. I don't know if this is a new guy or if it's Andrew DB taking the piss as usual. Look at the picture. Say no to fake inside school. Sorry, mate. I think it's absolutely hilarious. God, honestly, got me crying with laughter. Yeah. Which players would you like to see coming this summer? God, there's a lot. Madison, Diaby. Yeah.
Still laughing at that picture.
I've gone off on one. Yeah. God.
Take a minute, Tony. Shall I answer it whilst you try and compose yourself?
Hang on, I'll have a drink of water.
I'd like, looking at the areas that we need to strengthen, left back, and look at Tierney. I think he'd be a good addition. Centre half, Tobido could be quite good. Defensive midfield, you're looking at Kefren Turam. Attacking midfield, I think I'd take Szoboszlai over Madison, and a winger I'd take Diaby.
Yeah, I would take Diaby, Szoboszlai, Agati, Marcus Thuram on a free, and I would like a gift as well, so I'd take gift.
Okay.
Trevor Turner, Leeds fan, 4-0 Newcastle. Good luck for tomorrow, by the way, Trevor. And
Do your public service and help send the skip rats down.
Yeah. Jan says the point I was making, 7 out of them, lot between 19 and 23, and not expensive at all. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I can't laugh at that guy. It's just been on. 2-0 Newcastle, goals from Anderson going. I need to compose myself. Yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. Valencia faced a 5-match partial closure of the Mestalla Stadium and a €45,000 fine. However, the closure has now been reduced to 3, and the fine's been cut to 27. Yeah, I saw that, and I think it's disgusting that they've even appealed it. 2-1 says Alan. Close one. Draw. Trevor says Chelsea were shit and still will be. Yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there, Trevor. Yes, it's and laughing. Niall says 5-1 Newcastle. Interesting. Coffee says fake and says Scoops looks like someone I used to know. Gary D says Joe Linton was out the Leicester game. We don't know if he's fit for the Chelsea. No, he's out of Chelsea as well.
Chelsea
Stephen says, yeah, Chelsea are shit up front. Not much better overall. A 2-1 win all the way, says Stephen. And say Scoop says, yeah, good shout. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, mate, smash that subscribe. That'd be great. Thank you. And hit the like. I mean, yes, my prediction for tomorrow is I'm going to say 4-0. Because I think we can do them tomorrow. I think Callum Wilson get out there and fill his boots and make sure he hits the 20 goal mark. And I think Isak will get on the score sheet too. And I'm still going to say Botman will score with a bullet header as well towards the end of the game from a corner. And it won't be from a Trippier corner. It'll be from a Harrison Ashby because Ashby will come on for the last half an hour and play. And he'll put the set piece in. And it'll be his corner that leads to the goal from Botman. Yeah. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
It'd be good to see Ashby get a little.
I think he might get some game time tomorrow. I really do. I think he will.
Yeah, I think especially as there's nothing. Everything's sorted. It's all it is about whether we finish third or fourth. It's not like we're trying to. This game matters for us getting into the Champions League. So at the end of the game, particularly if we can afford to make changes, I'd like to see Lewis Miley get a 10-minute cameo at the end.
Yeah, maybe he does. Who knows? Billy's in the chat. He says that profile's magic. It's hilarious, Billy, isn't it? Brilliant. Trevor says, were Everton to get points took off? Not this season, I don't think it is.
I mean, that's annoying me because you look at the Championship, Reading and Wigan have points taken off them this season with one infringement. And yet Everton, they've known about this for ages. It's almost like they're waiting to see whether they go down or not. And they'll take the points off next season. But that's not. I mean, they've been essentially cheating for a couple of years now with this financial fair play.
Yeah,
I think it's the Telegraph did say that if they don't get punished this season, that Everton are going to get sued for loss of earnings by the teams that go down and Burnley.
Stephen says, come on, Bournemouth, have a blinder. Well, Gary O'Neill said he wants to get past 39 points, so they're going for the win tomorrow.
What we need is for Bournemouth, West Ham, and Leeds to do their public service and help to make sure that the skip rats go down. Bournemouth by at least drawing with Everton, Leeds beating Tottenham, and West Ham letting Leicester win.
Yeah. Gary says, it's be a shame to see the skip rats go down. Not. Howie the lad says, Bournemouth draw, Leicester win and stay up.
I could happen.
Play the youngsters and draw, says Jan. We should get Ferguson. He won't leave Brighton this summer. I'm telling you now, he won't. Ferguson's a proper number 9. He is, but he'll be there for a little bit longer. Say not inside scoop, fake inside scoops. I've just subbed. Thank you very much indeed, my friend.
Well,
fake scoops. I really enjoyed your welcome videos for Ekateki and Joe Pedro. So no inside scoops. Jan says, play ASM so he can get used to the stadium there. Don't know where you're going with that one. ASM going nowhere. Todd Bowley will invade the pitch full time, celebrating another season in the Premier League. Trevor says you should get points took off now. It's not fair on other clubs, and Everton got the dick up the arse of the FA. I mean, yeah, I see where you come from, Trevor. It's disgusting. They've done this last year. You know, and something's got to happen. It's got to happen. And I just hope they get that karma. I hope Brighton stuff them tomorrow. I really do.
In Bournemouth.
And sorry, Bournemouth. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Well, it's on the course, isn't it? But yeah, I hope Bournemouth stick it on them. I hope Bournemouth go 2-0 up early, really stick it up that crowd. And I hope Leeds and Leicester are winning and just make them panic, you know. Be absolutely fantastic, that. But yeah. Anyway, guys and girls, we're coming at the end of the show now anyway, and it's been a cracking show. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. We've discussed the match preview. We've discussed players coming in and out, because Eddie says his attentions now are turning to the summer. You know, I know he's got a game tomorrow, but he's already started planning for the summer this week. So, yeah, because you want to get the deals done, get them done early, and then that stuffs everybody else up. Roly, before we go, do you want to let people know where they can find the Voice of Reason, and especially to our new the new member in the chat there?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Poll67.
That picture is funny. Blakey, I went off. You've just joined on, Blakey, but before I just went into fits of laughter. I could not stop. I just lost it. I lost it. And I do apologise, guys. I did lose it there, but I'm really sorry. But that picture is just so hilarious. He will be the next England manager. I don't know who he means. That invaded the pitch last season. They got away scot-free with that, lads. Yeah, they did. And then they had the cheek to have a go at Vieira for kicking a fan down. Well, the fan wants to think he's so lucky it was just a trip over, because sticking his middle finger in Vieira's face, he's lucky Vieira didn't knock him out. BT says Phoenix coaches provide home to school transport for special needs children in Newcastle, but can it get the help to upgrade its minibus is subject to a £50 toll if they are driven through the city centre. Well, that's absolutely bad, and that's not right. And I think Newcastle Council should waive that £50 because they shouldn't be charged that to get through the city centre. So yeah, I hope there's a campaign about this, and yeah, there's a petition. I'll sign it happily, no problem at all, and I'm sure every viewer that comes on the channel would as well. Trevor says Eddie Howe next England manager. Yeah, but not for a long time yet.
Yeah.
Potter's free. He can take the England job, says Coffee. Well, Southgate's still the England manager, so yeah. But I can't see England wanting to take Potter on these damaged goods at the moment, isn't he? But anyway, if you've liked what you see, then please smash the like. If you haven't done so already, then please do so on the way out. That'd be great. Also, if you are new to the channel, then also subscribe to the channel, and that will help the channel grow. I've totally lost it now, haven't I? And the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming show. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, it's free to do so. Just click that button and come and join this great community here. And we do have some laughs on here as well, by the way. The guy from contradicts his own inside scoops. Fair enough. Great show, says Trolls. Yeah, absolutely. Coffee says, bye, Tony, Roly and all. Bye to you, and thanks, Trolls, for that as well. Yeah, and bye to you as well, Coffee as well. Stephen says, take care, lads. You too, mate. Have a great afternoon. And if you're watching the playoff final tonight, enjoy the playoff final. I think it's going to be a cracking game. Could even go all the way to penalties. Blakey says, don't think there's ever been an inside scoop that's actually come true. I don't think anybody knows, to be honest. You know, I don't even think Eddie Howe knows sometimes, to be honest with you. So, yeah. That's why if I ever do when I do transfer shows, I always say it's a rumour, it's a link. I won't say we are signing that player because I don't want to look stupid. at the end of the day. I want to make sure that, I want people to come on here and trust what we've got to say. And we always talk facts, not fiction. And if somebody, like I say, if somebody's linked, then I'll say it's a link, and that is as far as it is until they're actually standing in the stadium with a black and white shirt on, holding a scarf above their head. They haven't signed, in my opinion. Blakey says, oh, sorry, I read that one. Frank Lampard, next England manager, says beer. And talking to Blakey as well. Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, we are coming to the end of the show. But remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. That is for sure. Blakey says, when the club announced it, people can do their deal done videos. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Hope Coventry win. Luton Ground, terrible. Yeah, the Luton Ground's not great. They are doing improvements to it. I saw that on the news last night because obviously I live in Suffolk, so the local news came on. They've already started taking that pitch up, and they're going to make £10 million improvements to that stadium because that new stadium not be ready till 2026. Best way, Tony. No worries, mate. Always do, mate. Always do. Yeah. I mean, in terms of grounds, yes, it'd be nice to see Coventry come up, and probably for sentiment for Callum Wilson as well, going back to his former club. But Luton have never been in the Premier League. They got relegated the season before the Premier League started. So they went down in May and the Premier League started in August. So they missed out on it. So yeah. But whoever comes up, best of luck to them. And I'm sure it'll be a great away days next season for the Toon fans. But anyway, it's bye from me. No, Roly's not there.
That's bye for me.
I was waiting for that, Roly.
No, I've got the Hearts Hibs game on in the background, and the people falling like flies. It's looking for a penalty, but nothing was given.
Oh, it's a derby game, isn't it? Edinburgh Derby, yeah, that's why, yeah. And so that's us off now, and it's how are the lads? Enjoy your afternoon.